Hello viewers, welcome to News 9 Facebook Live with me Surat Suresh. And today the much spoken about topic, that is with respect to the Russian vaccine. There are over 150 odd candidates which are currently in several phases as well, and mainly in phases 2 and 3 is particularly 28 vaccine candidates which are there. And probably now Russia has already registered its vaccine. It's already said that probably it is one of the best and it is efficacious is what they have said. But one interesting topic which we stumbled upon is with respect to World Health Organization now raising their concerns over the Russian vaccine. Yes, Putin, the president, already went ahead. He said that, yes, even my daughter has already been vaccinated at this point in time. They will be vaccinating several others, and probably even the phase 1 and 2, the study results have shown that probably, yes, it is efficacious, and probably it will, trigger the vaccination or the immune system to, produce antibodies as well. But at the same time, now World Health Organization is quite concerned. They feel that it is still in the phase 1 or 2 of clinical trials, and phase 3 is the most important phase, and probably that is something which they will have to focus on. Only 76 candidates have been tested, and that is a very small population size which you are looking at. So probably they will have to test thousands, and for that they approached India, and they said that probably India has already taken up and they are ready to even accommodate or take up this phase 3 clinical trials as well. But India has already rejected the same. Now, to understand how important phase 3 is and whether or not Russian vaccine, that is Sputnik V, is actually that efficacious or actually should be considered for a worldwide vaccination as well. To understand all of this, I am joined in by Dr. Sailesh Roy, who is an immunologist as well as he has his own clinic in Mumbai as well. Thank you, doctor, for joining us, a renowned immunologist as well. Firstly, doctor, if you have to understand now, Russians have already said that vaccine is ready, and even Putin went ahead and said his daughter has been vaccinated. But what we have to understand is that phase 3 is not even conducted. How reliable will this vaccine even be?
So the current vaccination that is being described in Russia to be a successful vaccine against COVID-19, as you have rightly mentioned, there is a lot of lacking data in the medical fraternity, in the scientific community with regards to this vaccine, because before a vaccine gets publicized or gets used on a large scale, we usually know the exact construct of the vaccine. What is it made up of? We also know the type of doses that are required and the kind of immune response that the vaccine creates. And for all of this to happen in the right way, we have these different phases of the clinical trials that are described. Now, there are only bits and pieces of information about the Russian COVID-19 vaccine, which is called GAM-COVID vaccine. That's from the area that, or the institute that it is being made in, called Gamaleya in Russia. We don't know exactly the construct. We know that it's an adenoviral vaccine. Now, there are two other adenoviral vaccines which are in clinical trials right now in phase 3. One is from a company called CanSino, which is in China, and the other is the Oxford University vaccine with AstraZeneca as a partner. Both of these are adenoviral vaccines. The first one, the CanSino vaccine, we know is a human adenovirus 5 vaccine, and we know that the Oxford vaccine called CADOX2 is a chimpanzee adenovirus vaccine. But regarding the Russian vaccine, we have no idea what adenovirus strains have been used, what they have been combined with, what the degree of immunogenicity or response to the vaccine has been seen in phase 1 trials. So as you rightly said, there is a lot of concern amongst the scientific community that after just phase 1, 2, or maybe even just phase 1 trials, that a vaccine is being registered for large-scale use or for broad use.
Now, one important factor, World Health Organization, if they are stepping in, probably they have been monitoring all of these vaccines as well. Probably we'll have to see how they trigger the immune system. We have seen how, CanSino, even though they are testing only on the military, their own military, probably they have given more data. But what the Russians have done is they have not given enough data for the scientists to even consider this as a vaccine. One. Second, even if it's only phase 1 or 2, all they have done is they have tested people who do not have any comorbidities. So probably that is another factor which actually needs to be considered when you are going in for vaccination.
Certainly. So in phase 1 trials, the main purpose of the phase 1 of a clinical trial with vaccines is to find out what dosage of the vaccine provides the best response of the immune system. So, for example, someone may give a 5 microgram, a 10 microgram, a 50 microgram, and a 100 microgram dose, for example.
Correct.
And then they'll figure out that 50 is where you get the best response. You don't get any better benefit at 100. So then 50 goes into the phase 2 trial. In the phase 2 trial, you're largely taking healthy volunteers.
Correct.
But you're taking a wide range of ages of people, because initially you're doing it in healthy adults in a narrow range. Then you do in a wider range, maybe 18 to 55 is where the 6 vaccines that are in phase 3 trials are being done. And in those phase 2 trials, you're looking at the safety, the adverse effects, the immunogenicity, the antigenicity, and whether 1 dose or 2 doses are required of the vaccine to get the optimal response. Now, what has been done in the interest of time for almost all the COVID vaccines that are there, whether it's the Moderna vaccine, the ChAdOx vaccine, the CanSino vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, is that they have combined the phase 1 and phase 2 trials together in the interest of time. And that's acceptable to the medical community and the scientific community as long as data is released for each of the phases. What we are missing here is we have totally missing data. We do not know what dose was given, what the construct. We know that there were 2 doses given to these individuals from the Russian military on whom the initial phases were done. We know that they're saying they saw a good antibody response. But within the antibody response, it becomes very important to know, do they have neutralizing antibodies? What are those antibodies directed towards? Was it the spike protein that was again used with the adenovirus vaccine?
This actually raises a concern over how long does the antibody actually last? Because we do speak about the memory T cells, we do speak about the IgGs, but at the same time, how long does it stay? How long will you be, vaccinated? How long can you actually have that immunity is a major question which is being raised. And probably that data is somewhere not seen. Even if they have done clinical trials, probably they will have a set timeline which is not being released by the Russians now.
Correct. You're absolutely right. So if data is to be believed that that's in the public domain, we understand that these trials only began in May or June. So at the most, we may have 2 months data on what has been given to these individuals in phase 1, or if it is to be believed, phase 2 of their trials. And as you rightly said, it's in phase 3 where at least 4 months of data is collected after vaccination to know whether the antibodies that are triggered are maintaining their levels, are they declining very rapidly? Without that kind of data, we would not know whether a person needs to take a COVID-19 vaccine once a year. Do they need to take it twice a year? Do they need to take 2 doses, or do they need to take 1 dose? In fact, in the CanSino vaccine, which was also an adenovirus 5 vaccine, which is in phase 3 trials, it was found that elderly individuals would require 2 doses, whereas the younger individuals would require only 1 dose. So this kind of data is very critical to know how effective and for how long the vaccine is effective.
Now,
so that
if
data also is
countries
missing.
Go forward, and if they actually bet their money on this vaccine, do you think people should be vaccinated if there's not enough data? Probably even for that matter, former CEO of Microsoft had said, Bill Gates had said, the first vaccine won't be of that much use. Probably he was hinting at the Russian vaccine itself. But you as an immunologist, you have seen several vaccines coming in and you have studied this as well. So what do you feel? Do you feel people should actually bet their money on it now that World Health Organization also has stepped in?
This is always a very tricky situation, as you can expect. When you think of any vaccine that is even going to a phase 3 trial with, let's say, 5,000 or 10,000 or 30,000 individuals, you have to realize that even then there is some degree of betting or risk that is there, because we don't know how it will perform in a large group. Now, from whatever I have very carefully reviewed regarding the Russian vaccine, they do not plan to release it for general public use till the 1st of January 2021. So they are also technically buying time of at least 4 months before they release it for mass public use. What they're talking about is giving it to their frontline health workers. They're talking about giving it to their teachers and the people who are caretakers for children or elderly individuals.
It looks like as if they actually want to test it on them and consider that as phase 3, and then probably, go ahead and say that it's worked down on the frontline workers. Probably it'll work for everyone.
That's exactly how it is. And to tell you the truth, even for some of the routine vaccines that are in phase 3 trials, these subgroups, the nurses, the doctors, the respiratory therapists, the healthcare providers, are the ones who are actually enrolling in the vaccination. So when you ask me that question, that would I take it, if I knew the science behind it, if I had enough data to work on it, then I might not worry about taking the vaccine and seeing whether it works, because ultimately I'm contributing to my own protection while I'm also contributing something to the world. But I think the missing data and the lack of information is what is creating concern in everyone's mind, including the WHO and all the other countries that have raised their voice about moving too fast. Absolutely. We know we are moving fast. A normal vaccine takes anywhere from 5 years to 20 years to develop, and we are trying to develop a vaccine in 8 to 10 months. So clearly we are skipping. Many of the trials have skipped animal testing, which is also okay. I'm perfectly fine with it. They've skipped some of the preclinical testing. They've combined phase 1 and 2 together. All that is acceptable. The part missing is show us the data. Show us the data.
That is very important, if at all people will be vaccinated. Many thanks for joining us, Doctor, with all of those information, especially a person who's gone through the entire data. Clearly, he's given out information regarding what kind of virus they're using is not mentioned. Whether or not it is going to be an adenovirus, which kind of adenovirus will they be using? To make it simpler, the kind of vector which will be there, which will be sent into a person and vaccinating that person, that they are not mentioning how they will be doing it. So that is a main concern which is being raised here. One. Second, if at all the data is not there, if at all they are still in phase 1 or 2 of the clinical trials, that shows that the clinical phase 3 trial is not being done, where 30,000 odd people should be involved and they need to be tested as well. If that is the case, then probably yes, they have not done the research that is needed to even vaccinate people. Thirdly, like the doctor also mentioned, probably if they are vaccinating just the frontline workers, that shows that they want to first test it on them and see if they are recovering, if at all they have contracted COVID-19, or if it can protect them from contracting COVID-19. Probably they'll declare that if it's working on the frontline workers who are on a daily basis handling COVID-19, then probably everyone will be vaccinated and everyone will be protected for COVID-19 as well. This is a few of the concerns which the researchers are raising. The scientists have been asking for data, but the Russians have not given out. We will have to wait and watch. They have approached India. India says they haven't, and India says that probably we will not be taking up phase 3 clinical trials as well. But at the same time, World Health Organization now stepping in. Time and again, they have spoken about how countries should be responsible when they say that it is a vaccine. And probably that is what they're going to be checking now with respect to Russia's vaccine, Sputnik V. We will have to see what the World Health Organization will be saying regarding the same, whether or not they will consider it as a vaccine or whether it will fail their clinical trials. We will have to wait and watch. Probably the entire world will have to wait. Well, that's all we have in this particular Facebook Live. We will join you tomorrow as well. Do stay with us.